Hello, the Nintendo Hotspot here, and today I'm going to be doing another timeline video. This is going to be the DS timeline video. So, right here I have the Nintendo DS. This was released in 2004. Its screen was a top backlit TFT 260K color display screen. Its bottom was a transparent analog touchscreen. Its format was cartridge. Its size was 5 and 85 by 3 and 33 by 1 and 13 closed. Its weight was 9.7 ounces, pretty thick. It featured a D-pad, A, B, X, Y, L, R, select start buttons, a headphone jack, a volume control slider, a power slide switch was on the side of the unit, an IEEE EO2.11 wireless. That's what was wireless. Its power was a rechargeable Li-ion battery or AC adapter. Its battery life was 6 to 10 hours. Its details was a cartridge port which was on top of the rear of the system, had a GBA port which was on the bottom of the system, and it had two CPU ARM processors. Multiple colors were released, including a silver, black, blue, and limited edition ones such as a Mario Kart Red unit, which was a red Nintendo DS, and it came with the Mario Kart game, and it was like in a special box. Okay. I had one, and I enjoyed this thoroughly. I really was thinking, wow, so when they stopped the Game Boys, they were coming out with something even better. Then I was thinking, I hope they come out with something better than this. I really liked this. I remember me waiting in line just to go pick up my Nintendo DS. This was just really fun. This really brought Nintendo out into their flip games. As you can see, they just widened out the design of the Game Boy SP, because the Game Boy SP was skinnier, but they just widened it out and added a touchscreen, which was, I think, a pretty nice add-on to it. Okay, moving on to the Nintendo DS Lite. The Nintendo DS Lite was released in 2006. It had a top backlit TFT 260K color display screen. Its bottom was transparent analog touchscreen. Its format was cartridge. Its size was 5.2 by 2.9 by 85 while it was closed. Its weight was 7.7 ounces. It featured a D-pad, A, B, X, Y, L, R, select start buttons, a headphone jack, a volume control slider, and a power spring slide switch was on the side of the unit. It had an IEEE 8.02.11 wireless, and its power was rechargeable Li-ion battery or an AC adapter. Its battery life was 5 to 19 hours, which is pretty good. Its cartridge port was on top of the rear of the system, had a GBA port, which is on the bottom of the rear of the system, and it had multiple color systems were released, like the Polar White, Onyx, and Coral Pink. So, yeah, I never had a Nintendo DS. I always had my DS, like the first one. I never had, the Lite, because I didn't think that it was, really all that cool, because it's just a smaller DS, and I thought it was more manly to have a regular DS because it's more heavier. So, yeah, I liked the Nintendo DS Lite. I played it a few times, and it was pretty cool. Okay. So now moving on to the Nintendo DSi. The Nintendo DSi was released in 2008, yeah. It had an A, B, Y, X buttons, a start and select button, which was right under the A, B, Y, and X buttons, a power button, a D-pad, which was right above it, as you can see on the picture. That white thing, and it has some symbols. It looks like that's the power button. It had 3 lights, which one was the on light, one was a charge light, and one was the wireless light. It had a camera on the inside, right along with the microphone, and it had a camera on the outside with the light, so that people can know that they're getting taking pictures. It also had portrayed L and R buttons, so they look kind of cooler, and they also had a camera on them. This had a headphone jack, and sadly, no, this did not have a Game Boy a Game Boy slot, so you cannot play your Game Boy games on the Nintendo DSi. Sadly, it was you used a Li-ion charger to charge this, or an AC adapter. This was made in China, of course, 2008. And I have one of these. I told you. Oh, and I can't forget the volume buttons. The volume buttons. It's not a slider. It's like to the left. It's like to the like when you hold your Nintendo DSi while it's closed and you hold it to the side, you would see it, and it has two volume buttons, which is much easier than just sliding it because you can determine where you want it to be at. The and it also had an SD card slot, which was a nice touch because you could add music on there and just play along with it. And the stylus was a little bit bigger than the DS Lite stylus. And that's basically it about the Nintendo DSi. I have one of these and I enjoy it, but I'm not going to enjoy it as much as I'm going to enjoy the other product that's going to come out in 2 days. Hint 3. Okay, moving on to the Nintendo DSi XL. This was released towards the end of 2008. This was licensed by Nintendo, and it was made by Nintendo, of course. And basically, as you can see, it looks just like a Nintendo DS Lite, but one slight difference. The screens are huge. Yes, the screens are 93% larger than the Nintendo DSi screen. And just basically, that's just it. That's really just it. Bigger screens and easier for gaming. And that's really it. That's really not that much of the Nintendo DSi XL. It also came with that really cool stylus that you see. So yeah, the DSi XL looked like that. Anyways, I also have one of these. I did a review about them. If you want to watch my review, just go on my webpage. Just my first episode on my channel. That's basically it. Just a 93% larger screen than Nintendo DS, DS Lite, or Nintendo DSi system. Okay, moving on to the last game system that I don't have yet. I'm getting it. I know a few things about it. Well, I know a lot of things about it. And I'm not going to tell you like all the battery type and all that other stuff and the size, because I'm going to wait to put that in my review about it. The Nintendo 3DS. Yes, the Nintendo 3DS. This has, as you can see, a circle slider, a D-pad, a select home start buttons, an AVYX buttons, and followed by that is the power button. And right above the ABY and X buttons is the power is a 3D depth slider, and on the top of the system is the camera, where like right above where it says Nintendo 3DS. And if you notice that circle that's right under the home, that's the gyros. That's the headphone jack. And the power and like the lights are on the bottom of the power slide. And the cool things is that it's going is much different from this, because the bottom screen is smaller. But the top screen, I think, is the same size as the Nintendo DSi XL. So, excuse me. So, yeah, it just looks a little bit different. But the bottom screen is the same size as the Nintendo DS, DSi, DS Lite, DS, all the other DSs besides the DSi XL. So the DSi XL is the biggest out of all the game systems so far. So yeah, that's just basically all of the timeline. Thanks guys for watching. Really. Tomorrow is the 26th, and that is I'm going to be doing a review either on a game, or I'm going to do some other things for you. Then the day followed by that, which is the 27th, that's when I'm going to be doing my Nintendo 3DS unboxing. So be sure to check that out. That's going to come to you guys like around 4. So be sure to come here to this webpage, to the Nintendo Hotspot around 4. And you can look at, and if you want to see another unboxing, go to Epic Power 100, because he's going to be posting up another unboxing. So we're going to have 2 different unboxings besides the same one. So yeah, I don't know what time he's going to post it. I'm going to have to ask him about that. I'll tell you. Guys, thanks for watching so much and holding, like, being my fans and stuff. I'll be sure to upload another video tomorrow about my countdown to the 3DS in the USA. Yeah, if you have any questions about, like, what's the 3DS is going to have, feel free to ask me because I know a lot about it. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to comment and subscribe. Bye.